Rick Wallace.
And I have Don Holly here with me.
Three phases, dressage, cross-country, show jump. And you're out on course and something's going wrong or going right. You know how to react to what they're doing.
It was built originally to be a schooling facility, and so everything's set up very conveniently.
Welcome to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and we are here for a great show. Rick, really exciting. We've got William Fox-Pitt in the house.
I know, it's really exciting to have William here, and he is really tall.
He's super tall. Yeah, I got a picture taken with him earlier, and I got on my tippy toes and still wasn't even close.
No, you're short anyway, but I'm shorter than you.
Yeah, well.
So how's it been? You know, I had an exciting day. If we can jump to me real quick.
Yeah, no, let's do that.
So I saw that World Equestrian Center
Yep.
was on the commission meeting to get the World Equestrian Center Jockey Club.
Yep.
They got through planning and zoning, and so it then goes to where they had to change the language in the regulation so that the use of that property could fit what they wanted it to use.
Let's
it
just,
for.
before you go into that, just rewind a little bit, because the reason this is really important is that World Equestrian Center has figured out something with the U.S. Equestrian Federation to be able to get dates for
That's
recognized
correct.
competitions.
They've worked out dates for the hunter jumper
Yep.
shows. They already had USEF dressage shows there. I competed last week in the hunter jumper show, jumpers in the medium ponies, and I did the dressage.
And so what that means for eventing is now they're eligible to apply for event dates, and that has to happen at the Jockey Club.
That's correct.
So,
And I
with
don't
that-
and I don't think those dates are available until 2024, but I don't think this facility is going to be ready anyway. So they can start the process of applying for those dates.
Right.
So what happened was they had their lawyers there, you know, and they can't really present, they just say a 200-room hotel. They say 100-slot RV park, or
Right.
not park area.
And is the deal people are upset about the development?
They're upset, but they're upset about the residential section that they're wanting to do.
Okay.
So the Jockey Club in its former, its condition right now, how we know it, isn't changing. I mean, it's changing with the hotel, new stabling, new rings.
But they're getting rid of stuff to put stuff in.
They're
right?
getting rid of the yearling barn, the clubhouse.
Right.
They're putting stuff
So
in.
yes, they're putting new in, but they're really just modernizing.
They're modernizing it. They're leaving the topography of the property. They're not chopping down trees. And then there's a 250 or 300 acre tract in between Chi Institute
Yep.
and Jockey Club. That was sold as a part of that too. That's going to be changed into residential with minimum of 3 acre tracts.
Okay.
And then they bought on 225, there's a square that goes up to the Jockey Club. You know, in the back of the galloping fields, when you go up the top of the hill, you could see kind of houses on the left side.
Yep.
They bought 100 acres there that goes onto 225.
Okay.
So that's going to have 3 acre residential.
Right.
So the Jockey Club itself is not having any residential put on it.
Right.
So it's going to always have the townhouses are still there, but it's
And those will stay the same?
they stay the same.
Okay.
They're privately owned. Some are owned by the Roberts. So anyway, I was there, and a lot of people are worked up, and a lot of people don't really understand how it's going to be different from the World Equestrian Center. And I didn't mean to take up the whole 10
No, go for it.
minutes.
This is interesting stuff.
But the difference between the World Equestrian Center and hunter jumpers and all the stuff that they have there is that's like a 10-week. They do series, so
Yes.
it lasts forever. So
Yep.
people are there. You know, they do a lot of stuff. Our Jockey Club, it's going to have polo fields too.
Yep.
Won't operate like the World Equestrian Center operates. It won't have a 10-week eventing
Series.
series.
Right. You get a date, you go
we'll
in for
get
the
a date,
week.
you get it, you go to it. And most of the dates that they probably have will be FEI dates.
Right.
So some people were saying, well, they just trailer in and out anyway, so they don't need a hotel, they don't need RV spots. And I got up and talked, and I was in support. I was probably one of only like 2 or 3 of the people living. I understand.
Sure.
They're upset. They think it's going to change, and I thank the Roberts for what they've done. I think that we need to give the Roberts a little bit of due that they will do the right thing for that piece of property.
Right.
And I think everybody should know it's really Mrs. Roberts that's doing all this. And
Right.
Jim Wolf let me know that. People often say, they've been sexist or whatever, they say Mr. Roberts. Mrs. Roberts has the plan and the deal for it.
Right. She's the horse person.
She's the horse person. She sees how it's done. And look, the World Equestrian Center, I was there. It works great.
It's amazing. I'll tell you what, for what it's worth, I live 10 minutes maybe
Right.
from World Equestrian Center, and it has done nothing but increase the value of my property, improve the quality of my neighborhood, improve the quality of my life in that I can go 5 minutes, 10 minutes down the road and have nice restaurants and things to do. It has not made anything worse, quite honestly.
Right. And I think Briggs even said to me when I got to, he goes, "You were over the top." I was like, "What do you mean?"
What a shock.
Who
Who would have thought, Briggs,
that I was over the
Rick
top?
would be over the top?
I simply said that I'm a unique person to talk about this topic.
You are
I
unique.
lived in the townhouse. I lived there for a year in the Jockey Club. I rode during the whole property. Look, it's got it's got wildlife. And I think that's environmentalist-wise. We don't want that to change. But I think if they do it right, even with a 200-room hotel,
Yep.
I think it could be done proper. And the people were saying we could go to other RV parks. Well, you can't. Those are monthly parks.
Right.
You can't go.
Right. Yeah, no.
So anyway,
Well, it's
I
gonna
want
be
to tell
great.
you that I think it will get through, but I think what people should really wait for and what they can vote on is what it's going to look like.
Right.
This is just to be able to present it.
Right.
What the barns look like, how tall they are, what the buildings look like. All will come down to zoning, not zoning and planning, but the final plan approval.
Well, and you need zoning. I was thinking about it because my first reaction is, because I want it,
Right.
is, oh, they all need to just be quiet and let them do their thing. But in reality, having grown up in a town that had a lot of development happening and people resisting it, I understand if you live up in that area, it's been this way your whole life, you hate to see somebody come in and buy it and change your home, basically your home area, which is where you do need meetings like this and you need to have a voice.
Sure.
But at the same point, I think you also need to be respectful of people who spend a lot of money to buy a piece of property, and in the end, they do own it. They should be able to, within reason, develop it.
Yeah, and I think that's where this part comes into play, because they're having to change literally regulation and I learned a lot, because I learned we didn't have really anything in place in 1981 when the Jockey Club was originally born.
Sure.
It didn't have all these things. But all that being said, I think we should give the benefit to the Roberts, who have done a really good job with WEC. It's not going to be I believe in my heart, it's not going to be the same look as WEC.
Right. It seems like it would be, if it's going to support eventing and I think driving and polo.
I didn't hear anything about driving.
Okay, interesting.
But that doesn't mean that's not going to exist. They did say racetrack, but I think what they meant with the 9,000 seat stadium was maybe a racetrack and polo fields.
Right, like in the infield.
Right.
Right. So you would assume with that sort of sport that it's going to be more open and
It's going to be
big
open.
rolling fields.
They can't do too much to the existing property as we know it. Plus, they need the galloping tracks. They're not going to cut down hills, But anyway, all that being said, everybody have an open mind. And as it comes closer to, once they get that approved, hopefully it will. And I said sorry to all my neighbors that, were voting, they wanted them to vote against it. But
What do they want if they're going to vote against it? They just don't want them to be able to do anything with it?
they just want it to be like it is and just run the events with a tent.
Right, right. Well, that's not going to happen. Sorry, guys. We're probably going to lose that one.
So I showed at WEC. So we did the jumpers.
Yep.
Elisa did the jumpers.
Today you did this.
No, we did it.
Over the weekend.
Over the weekend.
Yeah, so I went up to Pine Top, which actually was...
That's right, you went to Pine Top.
It was a good event. They did a good job. My horse didn't go awesome.
Well, back to the drawing board.
Yeah, but we'll get home. We'll get it sorted out. And he's in good shape. He feels
Yeah,
wonderful.
he looks good.
I'm actually, as a coach, sort of transitioning away from me, as a coach, I'm really proud because my working student, Callie Core, went up there. She did the modified and was second and fourth. Kristen Rubash, who rides with Jen, did a great job around the modified. She was nervous going out on cross country, but smoked around it.
Is that who was in the Lucinda clinic?
Yes.
I think I have her halter.
Oh, well, good.
I'm sorry, I got your halter. I got to get it back to you.
Yeah, we'll get that. And then Jamie McAllister
I saw that she made
did
it
her
around the advanced
first
track.
advanced and looked awesome.
Good.
Really
on
good.
Army Ranger.
On Army Ranger, really nice thoroughbred.
That's a cool horse.
and
Why
that's
didn't
what-
you get that one?
I mean, because I like her on it. She does a great job. So congratulations to
Good
everybody.
job, good job, everybody.
Yeah,
at Hollywood
congratulations to
Eventing.
Jamie on that. She did awesome.
Wow.
So we're going to be right back.
Can I say one more time?
Oh.
I know we're blinking, but I got to say this to Ariel Gerald,
Yes.
who unfortunately lost all her teeth in an accident of getting kicked. Won.
Yeah, she won the advance.
The advanced.
She looked
at Pine
awesome.
Top. Her teeth?
Well, her riding. Her
I mean, I'm really proud of her. Anyway, good job, and I know your teeth are coming soon.
All right, so we're going to be right back with our Stress Less segment with Mr. William Fox-Pitt.
Yeah.
Want to advertise on the John and Rick Show? Contact John at 352-875-8622.
Or call Rick at 850-879-2649.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
I Love My Horse Equestrian Boutique, located at WEC on the plaza inside Arena 3, is pleased to offer all of your equestrian needs. Come check out Steuben Saddles, a 100-year history of providing high-quality saddles for eventing, hunters, jumpers, and dressage riders. If you want to look stylish walking around the competition, Dewberry has a tradition of high-quality footwear and accessories since 1870. Their Galway boots are stylish and comfortable, perfect for walking cross-country for both men and women. Then check out I Love My Horse's complete line of Shawcamo breeches and clothing. Fine fabrics at competitive prices. Next, head on over to I Love My Horse's children's section, where you'll find show coats, shirts, and breeches for the kids. Kimes Ranch Jeans, as seen in the series Yellowstone, great fitting jeans and high quality denim, shirts, hats, and jackets for men and women. I Love My Horse also has all of your safety needs covered, safety vests and of course 1K helmets manufactured to exacting standards with MIPS technology. Visit I Love My Horse at WEC on the plaza inside Arena 3 and the mobile unit at all the major eventing competitions, or give them a call at 352-672-1997.
Sweet Dixie South is an equestrian facility built for the lifestyle of eventers of all levels. Whether you are coming to Ocala for the entire season, a week, a month, or a year, this beautiful 160-acre farm is the place to settle in and enjoy your time with horses. They offer a full cross-country course with 2 water features, banks, ditches, an amazing footing to gallop, a spectacular all-weather footing ring, large grass jumping fields, and dressage rings. Located in the rolling hills of North Marion County in Reddick, Florida, Sweet Dixie South has 100 stalls and numerous paddocks, apartments, a line of camper hookups, washer and dryer amenities, as well as common areas to complete your experience during your stay. Under the ownership of Mike Campbell and the management of Can-Do Joe Adams of Top Rail Tack, Sweet Dixie South has transformed into a premier eventing training facility in Florida. Go to www.sweetdixiesouth.com for more information. Hey, Rick here. Do you have a horse suffering from poor performance, anxiety and fear, low appetite, agitation, or nervousness? Stress Less can help. Stress Less, the hot horse remedy, is veterinarian-developed, all-natural formula that promotes calmness, focus, and mood balance in horses experiencing stress related to training, showing, racing, stall rest, and travel. This equine supplement encourages calmness, focus, and mood balance without affecting the motor skills or energy levels of your horse. It promotes a more willing and balanced temperament with no drowsiness or impaired function, resulting in increased focus, a calm mind, and a happier horse and rider. Try Stress Less today and see for yourself why we think Stress Less is the best hot horse remedy you will find. Check us out at centerlinedistribution.net and on Facebook and Instagram as Stress Less Horse Supplement.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and we are in our Stress Less segment, and very excited to be joined by William Foxx Pitt. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much. It's great to be here with you guys and to hear what you've all been saying. It's been brilliant.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful to have you. So William is a 5-time Olympian, 3 team medals at the Olympics, and I'm not allowed apparently to go into all of the stuff because actually it would take too long, but
They'd take the 10-minute segment.
It's too dull.
it's an honor to have you here. Real superstar
definitely.
for the sport, so
It's
thank
great
you.
to be here. Thank you very much. I'm having a great time. I've been busy with my clinics and stuff and looking forward to riding in Aiken. So it's been a good week to escape from all the chaos at home and enjoy USA.
Yeah, and it's been pretty good weather for you too.
Oh my God, so far, yeah, in danger of even getting these revolting legs a bit.
Yeah, they look
brown.
fairly
I
tan
think
for
they
an
look
Englishman.
very Florida-ized.
I'm impressed.
And, good weather so far, so can't complain at all.
So you're over here doing a clinic. You did cross country today over at Barnstaple.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about the clinic, how it got organized,
I
what
think
got you
you
over
say
here.
that wrong.
What?
Barnstaple.
Isn't it Barnstaple?
No.
Barnstaple.
Barnstaple?
No? That's how I would say it.
That's how you say it.
What
Barnstaple.
does that mean?
It's
It's,
from it's in England. I mean, it's English.
It's an England thing?
Yeah.
Okay, William, please educate
So
me.
yeah, I've been clinic has been organised by Rhonda Sexton and Sarah Kozomplick, and it's been brilliantly well done. They've really put on a good show. Got some good punters to be brave enough to come and be shouted at by me, and we've done a bit of dressage, we've done a bit of show jumping, and today was cross country. Great facility there, really good for young horses, and we've had a bit of fun. And actually, no one has fallen off yet.
Oh, you just
that
jinxed
is
yourself,
really-
man.
Here's some wood right here.
Normally it's no, there's none of that. But it's normally there's 1 or 2, and so far
So far,
it's
so
been
good.
great. Yeah.
So how many days have you gone so far?
I've done Saturday, Sunday, Monday,
And how many have been in
and
daily?
then
About,
in daily.
like how many?
Oh, people.
many participants?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, that was me.
Oh, 30-ish.
Oh wow, that does keep you
I've been
busy.
quite
No-
busy. Yeah, it's good.
Ah.
No, we've had a good full day, and it's great to be, enjoying it all. And you guys over here, you so like to learn and you like to hear different ideas, and everyone's very inspired. Back home, they kind of would rather get out there and do an event and just not want to know how to do it, but just do it. Here, you want to know how to do it, which is great for people like me who enjoy coming to teach.
That's good.
I think that's interesting, and we were talking a little bit about that on the ride here into the studio. About the differences, because I think you said something great about if you gave somebody $100, you were saying the
Yes.
difference of what they would do with it.
Yeah, exactly. If you gave a Brit $100, they'd enter a competition and go there for the crack. And if you gave it to an American, they'd go and get some lessons and learn to do it properly.
Right.
Well, that's something. That's good to say.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting, and there's probably somewhere in the middle that's about right.
Yeah, it's a bit of both. I mean, we all love competing. At the end of the day, how many times have we gone to a competition not quite ready?
Right.
But
I did it last weekend.
You needed a couple more lessons.
I should have signed up for the clinic instead.
Exactly. We're all a bit guilty of that. But over here, I think the idea is, let's get it as right as we can,
Right.
and give it a go. And that's a very responsible, I think, good attitude. And I think people really enjoy the clinics for that take.
And so when you talk about getting educated and coaching, what's your system for how you like to not only train your horses, but in this case, as we're talking about clinics, like train your riders? What do you want to see from them? Whether it's somebody in a clinic or somebody back home, what are you looking for?
Yeah, it's great. I enjoy seeing that, and a lot of you guys over here ride pretty well. In fact, get on and really do a good job. I have a very good, I think a very good system of teaching. I think people need to learn to train in a pattern. They need to train and ride in a pattern, have an idea of what they want to achieve that day. I think very often when we ride, we try and do everything every day, and we haven't done one thing enough, and we haven't touched on another thing because we've tried to cram it all in. The horse is completely confused and knackered. And I think it's actually quite good to have a good program, really think, what do I want to work on today? What am I going to achieve with this horse today? Be realistic, and be nice and varied. But I've been talking a lot about sit up and kick.
Right. You got a little bit of Lucinda in you.
Well, sit up and kick is what we need to do.
Of course not. You're very good-looking riders out here, but you've historically, we all know that you ride very forward and very softly and very nicely. But nowadays, with the technical testing of some of the courses, you've got to really be back and upright and riding a horse forward, and if in doubt, kick. Whereas I think naturally some riders are, if in doubt, careful.
Right.
So there's been a lot of me shouting kick and someone going what, and I'm going kick what. But it's been good. People have really responded well, and I think it's good to have someone that's a bit out of your system, isn't it, to come in and interfere.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, you did a really good job with Elisa, like that to that point. She was trying to be too careful to corners, and
Right.
And my daughter went over and worked with John, and he was like, "Man, kick,
Right.
just kick."
You've got to go. Yeah, I think we forget, don't we, in eventing? It's all become so detailed and perfect. Right. We all look at Michael Jung and go, "My God, that's the only way of doing it." Right. And we don't actually know how much he does kick, how much he actually does do. Sure. He just looks like he's doing nothing, sitting like Mr. Perfect. And we're all trying to be that, aren't we? We all have our hands back here and we're all saying, it's just la, 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 it's all quite easy. But actually, sometimes eventing is about blinking well, doing it. And if it's not very pretty, we don't really care.
We get it done.
The modern day, everything's on social media, everything's analysed and discussed. Everyone wants to look pretty.
Right.
And that, I think, is a real pressure, particularly on our younger riders.
Well, and I think it is a good point, and I think it's probably a part of that, in my opinion, and I'd be interested in what you think of this, is when we as Americans see you ride, it's on your best horse at the biggest competition we have. We don't get to see you on the ones that maybe aren't quite as keen as trained. When you're back home, maybe out hunting, getting it done. Like, I think of you as what some would probably describe as a very American-styled rider. You're in a great position. You're always in balance with your horse. Yes, you'll get behind them when you need to, but I never see you very often like way in the back seat flogging one, making it go.
Well, you're very kind, thank you.
Well, but I mean, I'm serious though, because then I think in a way it gives aspiring riders inspiration and sort of a good mental picture of what they want to be.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't give them necessarily a realistic picture of what it takes to get to that point.
They need to see all those ugly moments, don't they?
Right.
There's plenty of those. And
right.
I've been around a long time, and you can imagine me, a great big individual, age 22, wasn't always very pretty.
Well, I think you inspire the taller riders that it can be done, and done well.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think I have been very lucky. I've been well trained and sorted out my own stuff first, and then learnt all the technical stuff that we all have to learn now about being very perfect and very, very competitive.
So, on that note, because I don't know,
what's the foundation?
Yeah, where did you get your start?
When you were
training,
22.
like who brought you into eventing, and where did you sort of get your base for your whole program?
Well, I was very lucky because I had a horsey mother and, horsey parents generally, but my mother was a good rider, and therefore I was brought up riding lots of different horses and learning just about getting on and going. I used to love going hunting. I can remember one Easter holidays when I was 13, I had 17 days hunting in one school holidays because it was all about hunting. That was quite spoilt. But it does really teach you about cross country. You're tired, it's muddy, lots of other people, there's so much going on. And nowadays that's not as possible anymore to do that. So I really realised how lucky I was. But I had a mother who was very helpful. And I can remember one day, I think she was always helping me, and I was going, yes, 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 yes. And I think when I was kind of 15, 16, I started saying, what, why, when? And she said, right, I'm going to get somebody else to shout at you, and I'm going to buy you a video camera so you can see how awful you look.
Perfect.
Did all that work?
And I thought, I wasn't expecting that as the answer.
Right.
And that was great because it stopped mother and son having a ongoing row about everything which you would do otherwise. But I had a very good trainer called Sheila Cotter, who no one would know, but years ago she was a good old stickler in dressage, and She was really good at sorting me out position-wise. Now I think we all get so worried about scoring, marking, and I find myself doing it as a teacher. You've got to say to the rider, you've got to be straight, in balance, sitting correctly, not moving your hands, not moving your shoulders. You've got to sit there really in your own control, in your own balance. And she was brilliant at teaching me when I was quite young and all over the place to actually blinking, be straight, get the balance right, and if your balance was a little bit wrong, this would happen and that would happen, and talk about, do we talk anymore about squeezing seat bones and, enough shoulders and lowering elbows, weight in elbows, and, I think all those things are very forgotten. And a lot of people do ride very well, but I think I was lucky to have my position seriously analysed when I was young enough to make a difference.
Right.
Which always helps, doesn't it? When you're a bit younger, you can make a change.
Because your bones aren't set yet.
You're not set, and you haven't got it. You haven't been doing it wrong for long enough. We all know. I always say, inheriting a nice young horse is so much easier than inheriting an older one that's learnt all the bad habits. Because changing the bad habits is always the trickiest thing, and it's the same with the riders, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely.
Well, it's been a great Stress Less segment, and I know we are going to keep William here with us because we're selfish and we got some more segments to do. So thank you, Stress Less, for sponsoring this segment, and we're going to come back to you really soon. Watch our advertising. Hey, Rick here. Do you have a horse suffering from poor performance, anxiety and fear, low appetite, agitation, or nervousness? Stress Less can help. Stress Less, the hot horse remedy, is veterinarian developed all-natural formula that promotes calmness, focus, and mood balance in horses experiencing stress related to training, showing, racing, stall rest, and travel. This equine supplement encourages calmness, focus, and mood balance without affecting the motor skills or energy levels of your horse. It promotes a more willing and balanced temperament with no drowsiness or impaired function, resulting in increased focus, a calm mind, and a happier horse and rider. Try Stress Less today and see for yourself why we think Stress Less is the best hot horse remedy you will find. Check us out at centerlinedistribution.net and on Facebook and Instagram as Stress Less Horse Supplement.
Jump for Joy fences are easy to move, lightweight, durable, and low maintenance. So we're out here on the cross country. We just finished over in the show jumping over the Jump for Joy fences. Had a great time schooling over them. They're really nice and easy to move, so we were able to adjust some things and really have the exact school that we needed thanks to the Jump for Joy fences. I love them. Order yours at jumpforjoyusa.com.
Rick Wallace here, bringing you Equibrew, a live probiotic that is geared to help your horse's gut health. I'm a true believer in this Equibrew, and it really makes a difference in all of my horses. Equibrew is safe, non-toxic, and clean sport compliant for FEI and racing events. Equibrew is an intact fermentation product with very high numbers of beneficial microbes. Order at equibrew.com or 850-879-2649.
Summit Joint Performance, the injectable joint supplement used by numerous international and Olympic riders, invites you to experience the winning Summit difference. Made of all natural ingredients, Summit increases mobility and comfort. Win your class with Summit Joint Performance. Grant Showalter has over 15 years of equine bodywork and saddle fitting experience. His technique allows him to identify and alleviate tightness in muscles. He uses trigger point massage to release points of restriction. Grant has over a decade of experience fitting and adjusting a wide variety of saddles. His expertise in equine physiology, coupled with a thorough understanding of the importance of a properly fitted saddle, allows him to quickly identify and correct any balance issues. Grant can also adjust your saddle on site. Grant works on all of my competition horses, and I have noticed a significant improvement in their performance at competitions and their overall way of going. Grant's based in Ocala, Florida year-round, but regularly travels to the surrounding areas. For more information or schedule an appointment, call 484-639-4454.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and William is in the house with us, and we're going to discuss in this segment your past horses.
The whole time, William.
Okay.
Which one? Can you name a favorite one?
I've been very lucky, I would say. I think that's one of the things about my career that I've had is how lucky I've been with the horses I've had. I've had a lot of good horses of all sorts. I've got to say probably the biggest freak was Tamarillo. He did me well for a lot of years. He was an amazing athlete. There's lots of cock-ups on the way, but you know, he was also a pretty cool horse.
So I got a question about that one. Doesn't he have a clone?
Yes, yeah, that's another whole interesting thing. He's got a clone.
Right.
Sadly, they obviously got 2 clones. They were done here in Texas.
Oh, wow.
Really?
And they came back. I broke them in. I had them, as, you know, got them as 3, 4, 5-year-olds, and produced them. And that was all part of the Tamarillo journey and seeing the clone and having, you know, we still had Tamarillo in those days together, and we've got photographs of them together. And it was an amazing thing to do. Sadly, one got colic and died.
Oh no.
So there is one. He had a bit of a checkered start. He's a colt, whereas obviously Tamarillo was a gelding.
So they left him
straight
a stud.
away, there's quite a fundamental difference actually. You
Right.
always
Right.
think they all should be the same, but of course they're not. So the little colt is a bit of a character, and he, funnily enough, started competing with a couple of girls that M.W. Guinness, who owns Tamarillo, and I decided on, you know, good up-and-coming girls who I could be involved with and, you know, help them on the way. And things weren't overall great.
Right.
Things weren't really happening. So finally we took a deep breath and thought, okay, right, let's think of a bloke. Because he's not very big, the clone. The idea was that I was going to ride the clone, but Tamarillo was 16.2 with a push. He was always a bit small for me, but big enough.
Right.
Whereas the clone was 15.3.
So it wasn't quite the clone.
It wasn't going to
16.3.
carry me, was it? But
Right.
actually, interestingly, it would have looked like a, you know,
The exact-
ridiculous situation,
Yeah.
me riding a colt, trying to make it look good, looking like it was some pony out of someone's barn.
That's so funny that a clone would be that much smaller.
Apparently clones are smaller than the donor, but I could be wrong in saying that. But that is apparently overall, and also colts are apparently shorter than geldings.
Right.
So anyway, they came out as 2 little midgets, so we've now found a midget to ride them
Right?
in Aaron Miller.
Okay.
And Aaron is doing an amazing job. He's local enough to me, so I'm still involved, and we discuss plans and everything else. And funnily enough, Tamarillo came to me. He'd been produced by a girl jockey, and had basically thought, nah, I'm not sure I'm an event horse. Which is why the Guinnesses asked me to have a go, because they thought big bloke, long legs, make him go, get on with it.
Right.
And they asked Toddy to ride the horse, and Toddy said, no, look, I'm giving up. Ask William. So they asked me, and I said, yes. And I thought, right, well, I've got no nice, pretty ponies that can do dressage, so I'll have a go. Why not?
Right.
And actually, the day he went from a girl to a man changed him, and he didn't like me. He's not a man lover, but when I was on him, he totally respected me and operated for me.
That's
and
interesting.
likewise, the clone, weirdly, has, with both girls, been slightly taking the mickey, slightly
Really?
fooling around. And the second a boy
Very
got
good.
on, okay,
Focus.
I'm up for it, hasn't looked back. Which is, again, they're clones, so you would expect it to be the same. But I always, again, a boring story I can share with you guys, is that I'd always thought when Tamarillo came to me, oh, poor Tam, he must have had a hard time with a stud hand one day, or someone must have been quite hard with him, because he really looked at me like, whoa, you know, you're not my mate. So I always had that in my mind, you know, you think, oh, he's been beaten up, we all say it.
Right.
And then once you were on, there are days when I go in Tamarillo's stable, I couldn't catch him. I couldn't put a bridle on his head. He would not come anywhere near me. And I think,
Really?
you're meant to be my mate. But no, no. As soon as I was on, it was fine. And funnily enough, breaking in the clones, they were young 3-year-olds who'd had no handling, done nothing apart from being in the field. They did not like men. Straight away, they would always go to a girl, always want a girl, but would see me and go, whoa, who are you? God, danger. So,
But then not respectful of the girls when
Tamarillo,
they're on.
and then
them.
when the girls are on, no respect.
Right.
Whereas the boys on, okay.
All
Isn't that
respect.
weird how...
That is weird.
That's
It is-
quite a good example of
What
a
was
clone.
his breed?
He's an Anglo-Arab, so he was quite weirdly bred.
There you go.
Right.
And quite funny. But he was very much not taking to a man on the ground, and the clone was identical.
So there was
That-
no beating in the back rooms for
So
Tamarillo.
obviously
It was
not.
just
So I took it
weird.
all back. That naughty, that kind
That's
of
just
wicked
was who he
stud
was.
hand that existed, obviously didn't exist.
So, like if I had to pick out a horse of yours, that would have been the one. Tamarillo.
Okay.
I thought he was
That was
amazing.
okay.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But the
so-
other one that I always really loved, and sort of thinking about having this clone be a colt would have been Chile Morning.
I was going to say Chile would have to have quite a high reckoning because A, he was a colt, and was the first stallion to win Badminton.
Yeah.
And B, he came to me with a bit of baggage later on in life. You know, he would have thought, well, who the hell are you a bit?
Right.
And he was a most consistent horse. Tamaralo had his amazing ability, sorry Chile, but much more ability than Chile.
Right.
But actually, as a triathlete, Chile was so solid. He was absolutely, could do dressage, absolutely would go cross country, could gallop, he didn't get tired, and he could jump a show jump. Whereas Tamaralo had his little foibles, like he wouldn't do a flying change, never did all his life.
Right.
Would often have a little spook and a run out the third last fence at Badminton because he thought I was kind of not in the right place. You know, that all happened.
Those kind of things.
Whereas Chile was absolutely Mr. Genuine good guy and
Right.
was probably the best all-rounder I've ever had.
And what was he like to deal with on a daily basis? Like I traveled with Windfall, Darren Chachra's horse, to Sweden, to Malmo.
To Malmo, for Europeans.
Yeah, well,
And
no, it
Open
was
Europeans.
just for the
World Cup
final.
final,
year.
yeah.
And I knew him, but I didn't know him that well, and I hadn't been around a bunch of stallions. But I took my horse to ride over there, and Darren's horse. We went together, and so I got to be around him a lot. And not having been around a lot of stallions, I wasn't sure what he would be. He was the most kind, gentle. He was much nicer than my gelding to deal with. I had a gelding named Lion King who was a Shab.
Oh, I remember him.
Yeah, he was a great horse. God, he was a great horse. But he was mean. Mean. He was aggressive. He wasn't mean. That's unfair. Sorry, Simba. He was aggressive. But Windfall was so sweet and kind. What was Chile Morning?
Yeah, Chile was an amazing horse. In the whole of the time I had Chile, I never saw him put his ears back.
Right.
Not putting the girth up, not when he was fit for Badminton, not when he was, he was a happy guy. Yes, he got a bit randy and boisterous at times, and he had to put a chiffony in sometimes if he was feeling that May was a long time coming.
Right.
But overall, he was a really, really nice guy. You'd have let your 2-year-old kid spend the night in his stable.
That's pretty
he
cool.
wouldn't go nowhere near you.
So while you were competing him, was he being collected? Did you do that at certain times of the year, or how did you guys deal with that?
We did a bit of that. We kind of stopped it when we got serious. I asked the Stones, we collected enough, I think, over the years. So we stopped doing that because I felt it was compromising. I thought back end was not
working well,
feeling as good. I thought he had more softness about him than he did when he'd been covering the dummy. Right. He never covered a real mare. He only covered the dummy, which again, I think can be tougher on the body.
Right.
And
it's not giving.
Right. And he was just better when he wasn't doing it. And they had plenty of semen. It was all fine. So it was good to stop that. It didn't change his mentality. He was always. He wasn't that randy, but he was always a bit randy anyway, and whether he was covering or not made no difference, but it was just to his body. I think his body was better when he wasn't doing it.
And I was telling William, this one's related to Sea Cookie.
Right.
Oh.
And he's a stallion and super sweet. Sweet. And nice stallion, trainer.
Yeah. There are more stallions eventing now, aren't there? I think everyone's kind of worked their way around it.
Chicken.
And
he went through training, and I think the last thing with him was that he fell into trainer.
Oh.
But you do hear that though, right? That stallions
People
aren't
say
brave.
That. Yeah.
Was that true with
brave.
Chile? Was he not brave?
No, he was
brave.
totally brave.
Must have been brave.
But then the one time I rode him in Kentucky, he wouldn't go into the first water jump.
I remember that. I
Do you
was
remember
there.
that?
Yeah.
And that was pure, I think, again, I got a good excuse for everything, but that was because he was quite a gobby, boisterous horse that I couldn't really hold. And I'd not really ridden many horses that are strong because, like Tamaralo would go around in a rubber straight bar with a Cabesson noseband. And suddenly I had this double handful. So I found a bit, and I quite early days with Chile. He'd done Poe, he'd done Brahman, but he hadn't done much more. And I suddenly thought, I found this bit. And he just was lovely and he warmed up beautifully. And I thought, hooray, I'm going to be able to stop. And because I'm not that brave. I like to be in a bit of control.
Right.
So I was quite happy to have that feeling in the warm-up. Oh, I'm going to go. And of course, off I went round and jumped 5 jumps. Had plenty of control coming into the top water jump off that mound. And there was a log on the top of the mound where you come up a bit blind and suddenly saw the water and he stopped dead. Because I think as I came into it, I had more control than I thought. I was going, la, 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 sitting there like a lemon. So he stopped. And I thought, right, something's got to change. So I threw the bit away and found a bit I couldn't stop him in, and he never looked back.
So I want to hear about what you did after that and what your plans are going forward right after we hear from our sponsors. So we're going to be right back with William.
I Love My Horse Equestrian Boutique, located at WEC on the plaza inside Arena 3, is pleased to offer all of your equestrian needs. Come check out Steuben Saddles, a 100-year history of providing high-quality saddles for eventing, hunters, jumpers, and dressage riders. If you want to look stylish walking around the competition, Dewberry has a tradition of high-quality footwear and accessories since 1870. Their Galway boots are stylish and comfortable, perfect for walking cross-country for both men and women. Then check out I Love My Horse's complete line of shockable breeches and clothing. Fine fabrics at competitive prices. Next, head on over to I Love My Horse's children's section, where you'll find show coats, shirts, and breeches for the kids. Kimes Ranch Jeans, as seen in the series Yellowstone, great fitting jeans and high quality denim, shirts, hats, and jackets for men and women. I Love My Horse also has all of your safety needs covered, safety vests and of course 1K helmets manufactured to exacting standards with MIPS technology. Visit I Love My Horse at WEC on the plaza inside Arena 3 and the mobile unit at all the major eventing competitions, or give them a call at 352-672-1997.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Hey, Rick here. Do you have a horse suffering from poor performance, anxiety and fear, low appetite, agitation, or nervousness? Stress Less can help. Stress Less, the hot horse remedy, is veterinarian-developed, all-natural formula that promotes calmness, focus, and mood balance in horses experiencing stress related to training, showing, racing, stall rest, and travel. This equine supplement encourages calmness, focus, and mood balance without affecting the motor skills or energy levels of your horse. It promotes a more willing and balanced temperament with no drowsiness or impaired function, resulting in increased focus, a calm mind, and a happier horse and rider. Try Stress Less today and see for yourself why we think Stress Less is the best hot horse remedy you will find. Check us out at centerlinedistribution.net and on Facebook and Instagram as Stress Less Horse Supplement. Rick Wallace here, bringing you Equibrew, a live probiotic that is geared to help your horse's gut health. I'm a true believer in this Equibrew, and it really makes a difference in all of my horses. Equibrew is safe, non-toxic, and clean sport compliant for FEI and racing events. Equibrew is an intact fermentation product with very high numbers of beneficial microbes. Order at equibrew.com or 850-879-2649. Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. And we are still here with William because it's awesome to have him here. And we want to go back to what we left in the last segment, as when you discovered you had too much bit on chili morning, what did you do?
Well, I kind of was devastated because I was in Kentucky and it all gone belly up, and I thought I was getting somewhere and suddenly I wasn't. And I thought, right, I'm going to put him back into everything the same, no longer the bit that I thought was the answer, and just accepted that I had to have a feeling down the rein that if it really came to him or me, it was him. Whereas in the bit that I control in, when it came down to him or me, it was me. And
right, and if that happened, he evidently didn't like
as a
that.
stallion, I think he didn't like that. He liked to take charge, and I had to decide, did I accept a little bit of gulp, or was I going to have to give up with him?
Right.
And I discussed it actually with Lucinda. We talked about, I always talk about confidence down the reins, and that sometimes is, you look at a horse in a strong bit, and you don't see that. You don't see that connection. You don't see that horse taking you. That horse is slightly holding, slightly waiting, And I often talk about that in my clinics, about that feeling in the bit that of course the rider has to control. We're talking about, someone's life, safety and result. But at the same time, the horse has got to feel, he's brave, he's a man and he's going. And Chili really improved for, to begin with, putting him in a pelham. That was quite scary. And we went jolly fast a few times. And I was just still young enough to go with it. I think if it had been a few years later, I would have been too scared. And then I found a very good bit, which I called my curb gag, and worked out with Chili that in the beginning of the course, he was sensitive. In the middle of the course, he was quite normal. And by the end, you couldn't stop. So what could you do to find a bit that would accommodate those three things? And how common is that? That's very natural. In the beginning, you're going there. And by the end, as we know, some horses have got jolly numb sore mouths and they're going to go through any bridle. So this funny old curb gag thing with 2 reins. I made myself ride with 2 reins. Everyone says, for God's sake, why do you do that? You can't do that. We are, at the end of the day, we are human beings. We can do stuff. So I think it's just a habit and you've got to make yourself. So I did. Right. And goodness knows where they all were, but I thought this is the deal. So at the beginning, I set off around the course feeling very nice on Chili, feeling good down the top rein. In the middle of the part of the course, I'd probably end up using a bit of 2 reins. And by the end, I'd be yanking on the bottom one.
So that's a good segue, though. You mentioned Lucinda and going through all that process and her bag of tricks that she takes with her. And y'all are doing a master class. Masterminds, I believe. Yeah, we're doing that online when I get back. I think other top riders have been doing it weekly, monthly, twice weekly. Yeah, somewhere in there. It's been really interesting, hasn't it, hearing everyone's approach and we're all different, aren't we? We've all got different ideas, which also work, and it's a really good combination. Lucinda's really enjoying drawing it out of us as to what we're going to talk about, and I know Boyd's done it, and I know Peggy's done it, and I know Pippa's done it, or not yet. I didn't hear her one. She told me the 6, and she was just here. She told us the 6. And she's really excited about yours. Oh, of course. And I know she's excited about everybody else, but she did talk about you quite a bit.
I told her I thought it was a bit British heavy, the list of people, and perhaps there needed to be a few more Americans. Lucinda disagreed. But, I'm just saying.
She had Boyd.
She's got Boyd.
Yeah, well, I mean,
come on.
He's Australian.
He's Australian. He's Americans. Like, you get both in there.
We got to call him United States. Because Americans can be.
You're right.
Danny Mogel in Mexico.
He is winning medals for US of A.
Yeah, no, he's as American as it gets. Yeah, he is. He is. Him and Philip, for sure.
But no, he was very good, and we've all got our thing to think about, and I think it's quite interesting that Lucinda's very good at getting all those bits out. She's really passionate about this. It's amazing to have. It's really good fun.
She pulls that bit bag. I mean, it's heavy. She puts it in her baggage. Oh yeah. And then
I'd love to see her at security.
She learned not to do security anymore because she tried security and they thought she was some wicked person.
With a capital N.
Now it's in her bag.
Like a dominatrix.
Yeah. And look, I took her to the airport, not to go Lucinda real quick, but I took her to the airport last week, and her bit bag was in there, and she's on crutches because she's hurt her meniscus just from wear and tear. Just wear and tear. Okay. So I took her in, and we did the bag. It was 62 pounds.
Holy moly.
And they said in weight.
That's going to cost you another 500 quid.
130 pounds. She went, what? 130 pounds? I mean, dollars? And she was on her crutches and she goes, I can't carry stuff. Can't you see this? And they let her go.
I don't know how she has time to go through all those bits with all the people she teaches.
Because
she does, though. She'll bust one out.
Isn't it? Yeah.
She likes the leather bit a lot. She likes the pelham.
Okay.
She does require 2 reins.
I do make people take the curb off or change this or change that, but I've not got around to actually having my own bridle and bits to say, get off and start again.
You maybe just need to work that into the clinic fee is to ship the bits.
That's a great idea.
That's what I would do. Well, it's got to cost less than $120 to ship bits.
Right.
So that's does she do a bit of bit wheeling and dealing as well?
That would be brilliant.
She doesn't, but she needs to, and she
Forget
also.
It. William, don't give her the idea. Take it.
Okay.
You go to your clinic. You have the Fox Pitt collection. It's perfect.
So when you're doing the masterminds you need to do this. Lucinda, when are you going to get your hats and your T-shirts? Because she doesn't have that either.
Really? Okay. Okay.
So, what I want to know now, which is the thing I've been waiting to hear, and I'm sure everybody else has been as well, is what are the plans this year? What do you got going?
Yeah.
Where are you going to go? What are the 3 days? And most importantly, are we going to see you at Kentucky?
Okay. Yeah, I hope so. I came last year. I managed to fall off, which is a bit of a cock-up. But actually, the horse went well, so
Right.
he's going to go to badminton. But I've got a very nice mare. Might come and do her first 5-star.
Awesome.
Who's owned by a lovely American owner called Amanda Gould.
Yep.
Who very much bought her with a view to breeding and producing progeny. So she has a foal on the ground who's now a yearling.
Wow.
And sadly, probably one that I will be training, not riding. And no, lovely mare to ride in Kentucky, doing her first 5-stars. So
And what's the mare's
hopefully-
name?
She's called Grafenacht.
Okay.
She's done a few 4-stars and she's knocking on the door. She hasn't won one. She was second in one and she's 10th in one. And
That's
she
exciting.
jumps the jumps and she tries hard and she's a really cool mare. I love her.
And so
she's
have you
quite
started,
mean.
what are we? We're
Yeah, we're quite soon, aren't we?
March. So have you run her yet?
No, next week. I get back and I run her next week.
And where's that?
And Tweezle Down.
Tweezle Down.
Yeah, that exciting, wonderful.
With Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel Hunter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rachel, is it Hunter still?
Rachel, it is. I don't know if it's Hunter. She does the academy with Lucinda, and she manages.
Oh yes,
Tweezle Down.
yeah. Sorry, that's her event. Sorry,
Yep.
Yeah, totally with
Yep.
Rachel. I thought
Okay,
it
so
was
you go to
Rachel
Tweezle
Road.
Down with her, and
Yeah,
then where do
one
you go?
LOI start, and then a couple of advanced. We've got one up at Bergam, a new 4-star short.
Yep.
Which I'm sure will be rained off. It's quite a squidgy. It's a lovely park, but it's quite squidgy.
Right.
I like
and
that
then,
word.
And then
Squidgy means it's
squidgy,
wet.
just you sink.
It's
Right,
like you.
okay.
Lorries and horses are quite squidgy.
So they need to have the tractors there ready to pull the lorries out.
Yeah, in and out.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so that's optimistic. And then Western Park is always an old faithful. Again, it's quite a wet show jumping there, but it's a great cross-country course. But I always go there. I'm totally relaxed. You can knock 4 down at Western Park, and you still can jump clear around Kentucky.
Right.
So that's fine.
Because
Yeah,
it's-
job done. It's just dead, and once a few have jumped, it can go quite deep. And that's just the park you're on, and it's
Right.
just you have
The
to
way it
accept
is.
it. Yeah, and if you go first to 10th, you'll go clear. And if you go 40th, you won't. Simple as that.
Right.
And
about
that's
the draw.
just good old English event.
So you
guys
because
would
of who you
have-
are, you have your in, and you make sure you go
guys would
first
have
to
a
10.
fit. I
I would have a
He
fit.
would have the fit.
Okay. No,
He,
I actually, to be fair, I would prefer
Look at his
it
face
deep
when he gets
and
like
muddy than hard and too firm.
okay. Well, then come to Western Park.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want it too extreme.
I don't know, wet and deep. I don't know.
As long as it's
a yin
consistent,
and
like
yang, isn't it?
so. For
It
example,
teaches them to jump higher.
I've been to Buccalo a couple times. I actually don't have any problem with the going there.
Okay. Well, now Buccalo's wet, but now Buccalo's on sand.
Right.
Buccalo's.
But part of the cross country is a plowed field.
Yeah, the cross country is all in a plowed field.
Yeah.
Actually, no, more grass last year.
Did they?
Yeah. I think
right.
we only went through a couple of plowed fields.
I enjoy that event,
Yeah.
mostly because it has great parties, but also because it's a good event.
It's one of the best.
We have the boots over there.
Right.
One of
yes.
the best, exactly.
Yeah.
So yes, hopefully Grafenacht is coming here, and hopefully I won't fall off this time, and hopefully then 2 for badminton as well. So I'm going to have to wake up.
All right.
Get going.
Well,
Yeah.
what I want to do, we're going to take another break, and then I want to come back and hear about the badminton horses, and we
And
want to touch base on
Bruce's
Bruce's field.
Okay, yeah,
With
next
Rock Phantom.
week. Okay.
All right. Cool. We'll be right
Okay.
back.
Grant Showalter has over 15 years of equine bodywork and saddle fitting experience. His technique allows him to identify and alleviate tightness in muscles. He uses trigger point massage to release points of restriction. Grant has over a decade of experience fitting and adjusting a wide variety of saddles. His expertise in equine physiology, coupled with a thorough understanding of the importance of a properly fitted saddle, allows him to quickly identify and correct any balance issues. Grant can also adjust your saddle on site. Grant works on all of my competition horses, and I have noticed a significant improvement in their performance at competitions and their overall way of going. Grant's based in Ocala, Florida year-round, but regularly travels to the surrounding areas. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 484-639-4454.
Jump for Joy fences are easy to move, lightweight, durable, and low maintenance. So we're out here on the cross country. We just finished over in the show jumping over the Jump for Joy fences. Had a great time schooling over them. They're really nice and easy to move, so we were able to adjust some things and really have the exact school that we needed thanks to the Jump for Joy fences. I love them. Order yours at jumpforjoyusa.com. When it comes time to compete, I demand the best out of my horses and myself. That's why Elemental Fit Lab, the home of CrossFit antics, is my home gym. Coach Vilma and her team create a fun, welcoming environment for athletes of all levels. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned athlete, Elemental Fit Lab will guide you towards a stronger, healthier version of you. Mention the John and Rick Show to get 3 free personal training sessions with enrollment.
Sweet Dixie South is an equestrian facility built for the lifestyle of eventers of all levels. Whether you are coming to Ocala for the entire season, a week, a month, or a year, this beautiful 160-acre farm is the place to settle in and enjoy your time with horses. They offer a full cross-country course with 2 water features, banks, ditches, an amazing footing to gallop, a spectacular all-weather footing ring, large grass jumping fields, and dressage rings. Located in the rolling hills of North Marion County in Reddick, Florida, Sweet Dixie South has 100 stalls and numerous paddocks, apartments, a line of camper hookups, washer and dryer amenities, as well as common areas to complete your experience during your stay. Under the ownership of Mike Campbell and the management of Can-Do Joe Adams of Top Rail Tack, Sweet Dixie South has transformed into a premier eventing training facility in Florida. Go to www.sweetdixiesouth.com for more information.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and we are here with 6-time Burley winner, William Fox-Pitt.
Wow.
And so I think that's pretty cool.
I think it's amazing.
Because we were giving you a hard time about badminton and Lucinda having won it 6 times. And you were saying, oh, well, I probably won't get that. But Burley, 6 times.
So I did ask,
pretty awesome.
Before we came back to that point, was it 6 different or were some of the
No,
same?
no, they're all different. Yeah.
That's the claim to fame. Now we can say, we need to start saying
She and I
that.
share that. That's our thing in common.
6 different
Yeah.
horses, 6-time winner. That's amazing.
Do you guys get competitive about it? Like which one's a bigger deal?
Oh, yeah.
And so which one's a bigger deal, William?
Well, of
Burley.
course, Burley.
Right, of course it is. Of course
I
it
mean,
is.
obviously.
We should call Lucinda right now.
We should. She's probably awake.
She's awake.
She knows that.
She's awake. It's only 12:15 there. She's awake.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty awesome. So we were talking about Grafenax. Is that right? Did I say it right?
Yeah. Well,
Awesome.
yeah,
Excellent.
okay.
For Kentucky, but
Kentucky.
you also said you had a couple horses for badminton.
Yeah, hopefully I've got the 2. I rode them there the last time badminton happened, which ridiculously is 19. I had 2 good horses there when they were 10, having their first go, and they both went very nicely around. Nothing amazing, but they were good and they were promising. One's called Little Fire, who I love, and he's a good old faithful, and I think he's got something in him. I'm still dreaming.
I agree. I like that one. I've seen him go.
And he's a lot of fun, and he's got a lot of ability, and it's just about no rider cock-ups, I think.
Right.
And then the other one, Oratorio, lovely blood horse, real galloping machine, not quite as flashy in his own way, but is a real performer, and he will have a go as well. They both went to Pau last year, so they've had a good 4-star under their belt. A lot of horses, as you know, haven't done very much, so they had a good run there. Neither of them went well enough. They both had a stupid 20, which is not great for WEG and stuff, but overall, hopefully that won't stop them winning badminton.
Right. And so if you had to choose, let's just say your first, second at badminton and your first at Kentucky, which you won't because an American's going to win Kentucky, but let's just say for this story you are, which of those 3 horses would you hope to have for the WEG in Italy if you could take anyone?
That's a good question. The mare is probably looking a bit kind of sexier than the other 2 right now.
Girl power,
She's
I
kind
like
of on
it.
the way up there, and she's done nothing wrong, and she's a real toughy performer. But yeah, Mr. Fancy Pants Aiden, Little Fire, could actually, if he wanted to, he could be the one.
Sneak
but
in there.
you know, us Brits are boringly quite good at the moment.
Right.
And I'm not really in that echelon. You know, if you look at our last year, I've got no hope.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's all about who's winning at the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you won,
I'd like to
if you
think
won,
that.
if you won Kentucky and badminton, and were second at badminton, you would be right in there.
You did say if.
You should just listen. Just do what we're
Oh,
telling
you know what? We do tell people this. When they appear on the show, the next event or the next big one, they win.
The next big event.
Oh, well, there you go. Bruce's Fields.
There you go.
Here we
Bruce's
go.
Field. So great
That
job.
was a
Have
good
you been in
segue.
television
Look at
before?
you.
Well done.
All
So
right.
we want to talk about Bruce's Field because you are riding Sarah Kossenplick's horse, Rock Phantom, there.
Yeah, I'm very lucky to be given her new protege. He's lovely. He's actually quite my sort of horse. quite like him. Sorry, Sarah. He's a good old ugly bay horse, but he's totally my sort of
I
horse.
like that.
Right.
horse.
So have you been riding him while you're here for the clinic?
I've had a little preview play. Yes,
Yep.
I've been staying with Sarah, so I've had a couple little sits on him, and he's a great boy actually.
So that was Nielsen's horse.
Yeah, Nilsson de Silva.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's new to Sarah this
Yep.
season, so she's
just got
very
it, like,
excited.
December.
Yeah, she's really pleased and lots to aim for. But he's got a cool feel. I went to Will Coleman's great place and jumped a few jumps.
Yep.
I shouldn't be admitting that, should I?
No, you
I've
should. You're
never
supposed to
seen a horse
practice.
in my life, and it's going to be amazing when he goes so well. I jumped a few jumps, an amazing place there, and he just gives a really good feel. He's just got that
I like that.
good old
horse.
feeling. Get on with it and go.
So a couple
hope-
things
I
that
hope.
a couple things that are really important. I was talking with Joni Morris, who helps organize that event and is basically the woman in charge. It is a cool event because it all is for charity, and so they've got the charities. They have the Aiken Pony Club, excuse me, Brothers and Sisters of Aiken County, which is like after-school programs. Community Medical Clinic of Aiken County, which provides healthcare and guidance to improve quality of life for underserved people. Great Oaks Foundation, which is equine-assisted activities for people. The Megiddo Dream Station, which is like job and skill training. And the Tri Development Center, which is to coordinate community services in Aiken for individuals with autism. So really great
Oh my
charities that you're
God,
going to be helping out.
fantastic, Yeah,
that is
it'd be
good.
great. There's quite a few riders there. They got a big entry, and it was a lot of fun. I did it a couple of years ago, and really enjoyed that. And it's great to be invited back and to get a horse to ride. But yeah, there's a lot going on there, isn't there? That you can really
Yeah, it's
get
cool. And they
together
make
with
it
the
into like
people
a
and-
team competition
yeah,
thing.
Yeah. it's a
Now,
fun
one
event.
question Joni needed answered that she told me specifically to ask you on air was what song you want played during your dressage test.
We
So-
are the champions.
Come on, what is it, William?
You
got
have a
anything?
favorite song?
Oh
No?
my God!
All right,
yeah.
I'll pick it out for
we
you.
Are, clearly, we are the champions, but I think
Yes.
that's a little bit, you know.
No.
There'll
All
be,
right,
there'll,
Joni,
there'll be
I-
several of us doing that
I
one
think
there.
No, I don't think anybody else
I've
would
left
choose
it up
that.
to her imagination. That's not the kind of thing that would even cross my radar.
I think I like
But
that
yeah,
Elton
we are
John
the-
and
we
what's
are
the
the-
other
I would
one?
say
Rocket
anything by
Man.
Queen myself.
Anything by Queen.
Anything by Queen. I think you
I
can
like
rock that.
Queen.
I like Elton John's Rocket Man
Bit of,
with the dude.
bit of ABBA.
What's the new? Anyway.
I can't remember what they did last time he was here, but it was
What would
they're
you-
good.
who would
at it.
look
Okay,
it
just
up.
forget about
Yeah.
all. What's your favorite song?
Yeah.
What's your favorite song?
I
Got lots of them.
no idea. No idea. You know,
I don't
who
listen to
cares?
music either that much.
It wouldn't be a song that you could play to dressage anyway.
No.
Maybe we should record something here for you, and you could
No.
ride to your own. No.
What? How are you going to do that? Sing?
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah, we'll have William sing his own song.
Are you riding?
No.
Why not?
It's a long way away. I get to drive up there, and I could be in Florida. It's beautiful here.
John's really bad about anything. Like we were gonna go to Tokyo, but because seashells happened,
Okay.
Right. So
we didn't go. And then he was like, "I really don't want to go." I was like,
I have a thing.
Why wouldn't you want to go? I don't want to go.
I have this thing.
He hates traveling.
I don't like going places.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, I love having people and hosting things, but I struggle to get out. I don't know.
You an agoraphobe?
I don't. What is that?
That's somebody that
Won't
wants
go
to stay
outside?
inside and won't go outside.
Yeah, that's me.
You won't go off your farm.
I won't. I really like to be on my phone.
I could be similar. I
Yeah.
could be similar.
We are like that too, but anyway.
I'm pretty bad that way.
So you do Bruce's Field. You're going to have the champions. We are the champions plan.
Yeah.
And then you go directly home from
And
there?
then a bit more teaching in
Aiken.
Yeah, doing a bit of teaching on the Sunday afterwards. I think even the Saturday morning I'm teaching before I do my
Really?
cross country in the afternoon. So I'm going to go. I'm twitching.
You get to walk.
I have to walk the course to go the
So,
right
like,
way.
And then you fly out
And
of
then fly
Aiken?
out Sunday night.
So you and Lucinda are on the same track. She
Is
was
that-
just
is she
here in
back-
Ocala.
is she back
Then she
then?
went to Aiken, and then she flew home from Aiken just last week.
Okay.
So y'all are doing like the same
Same
track.
thing.
Yeah. Except she didn't.
I'm
Go to
always
Bruce's Field.
I'm always following Lucinda.
They're just right behind her.
Exactly.
Even Burley is
Exactly.
technically like 3-4 months after badminton.
That's funny too.
So that's cool. So yeah. So I mean, I appreciate you coming on the show. I know you had a busy day.
That's
teaching.
they're keeping me working, these girls.
What are they doing for you for dinner?
There's no holiday. Oh, I think we've got supper tonight at Sarah's. I think
Very
we've got a
good.
nice.
Well,
we
that-
might say Chinese takeaway. I'm sure it's
I'm sure it's going to be
something amazing, but it's it's
Chinese takeaway here is not as good as it is back home. I can promise you
Oh
that.
no!
No.
Oh no!
Yeah,
it's
Chinese
gonna be
food in
fine.
England is the best.
It is good, yeah.
Oh. I remember, really quick story, going over to look for horses with Rodney Powell. And he got the best, they were like roast duck, orange duck, and you put it in the egg roll wrappers, but they weren't fried yet, and you'd eat them. And they were so good, and I was so excited that the next morning I was going to have them, and then he fed the leftovers to his dog. And I was so sad. I watched him do
Was
it.
it crispy duck?
It was crispy duck. Crispy duck. Oh,
is
man, it
the
was good.
best.
I
So
love food over in England. A lot of people say
crispy
they don't
duck
like it.
is
I love
amazing.
it.
So basically the reason I tell you this is next year when you come back,
We'll
if you
have
could
crispy
bring me
duck.
some crispy duck,
Okay,
I'd appreciate
Deal.
it.
deal.
And then we'll have you back on the show.
Okay, good man.
Listen, William, thanks so much for coming on. Good luck this season. I'll be cheering for you for a second place finish at Kentucky and a first place finish at
And
badminton.
a second place finish.
And a
And
second.
yeah.
So thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thanks very much, guys, for having me.
It was an honor. Thanks everybody for watching the show, and we'll be back here in a couple weeks' time.
Remember,
So-
download us on Spotify, all the
all of
pods,
them.
all the pods, and also on YouTube.
Yeah.
Subscribe. right there.
Subscribe and give us some reviews. We really would appreciate it.
Rick Wallace,
And I have Don Holly here with me.
three phases, dressage, cross country, show jump, and you're out on course and something's going wrong or going right. You know how to react to what they're doing.
It was built originally to be a schooling facility, and so everything's set up very conveniently.